The UK government has said that it is treading carefully on the digital pound and prioritising privacy and cash access. So in this video, we're going to look at why the UK Treasury and the Bank of England have underlined certain criteria for possible digital currency launch. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys, available today on iOS, macOS, Android and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good evening everybody and a warm welcome back to Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenyon. Now today we're going to be talking about the UK government again, and they're basically saying that they are prioritising privacy and access to cash over anything else with this new digital pound, as they're calling it. In reality it's a CBDC. And so as always guys, let's read through this article quickly, let's see what we can learn and then we'll comment after. So the UK government said it is proceeding cautiously with the design phase of its central bank digital currency. According to a January the 25th response issued to the Treasury Committee, the government emphasised that no final decision has been reached regarding the digital pound's launch, adding that its officials are still exploring the feasibility and designs of a CBDC. The regulatory body further stated that it is defining the criteria and developing a comprehensive assessment framework to determine the viability of launching the national digital asset. The design phase will deepen our understanding of how to design a digital pound that maximises opportunities whilst mitigating risks and aims to develop a robust evidence base to inform a decision later this decade as to whether or not to proceed to launch. This is according to the HM Treasury and the Bank of England. Treasury Committee Chair Harriet Baldwin described the digital pound as a major technology project that should be undertaken only if the benefits outweigh the risks. The Bank of England and the Treasury also addressed privacy concerns attached to the currency, and according to the joint statement, the government will ensure user privacy through concrete legal measures. Furthermore, law enforcement agencies' access to users' personal information would be strictly limited and contingent on a fair and lawful basis. HM Treasury and the bank agreed that strong privacy safeguards would be vital if a digital pound were to be introduced, they wrote. The response also explicitly outlined that neither the Bank of England nor the UK Treasury would have access to users' data in the event of a retail CBDC rollout. One of the key risks is around the potential misuse of data, which is why we recommend privacy protections be enshrined in primary legislation should a digital pound be introduced, said the committee's chair. And moreover, both governmental bodies stressed their commitment to safeguarding access to cash if a CBDC is issued. They said a digital pound would complement, not replace cash, and the government and the bank have a clear commitment to maintain access to cash for those who want to use it. And so here we've got the Treasury and the Bank of England, or the central bank for the UK, saying that they are prioritising privacy and that they're not going to give themselves access to the CBDC or the data within it, which would be all our financial transactions. And that they're doing this because they're worried about our own privacy. Now, the problem with this is this is today's narrative. You know, this is something that they're saying now. Now, this can quite easily change in 2 years, 3 years' time. You know, if it were to roll out today, there's nothing stopping them from from taking up more power and abusing all this data, because they do have access to it. They just don't have permission to access it, or they're going to renege themselves out of it and say, well, we don't want access to it because, you know, it should be private. But in reality, the option is there. They can change the laws later. They'll be able to do something if they want to, if they wanted to go down that road. Whereas, for example, cash. If you look at cash, if I make a transaction with you and I lend you £10 or $10 or something like that, and then you pay me back in a week's time or whatever it is, nobody knows that. Nobody knows about that transaction except for me and the receiver, and that's good. That's private. You know, that keeps our rights intact. And it's only if I volunteer that information, or the other person that I'm transacting with volunteers the information, does anyone else get to know about it. Otherwise, if we both keep our mouths shut, no one will ever know about it. Whereas a CBDC will leave a trail of everything and everybody in every shop and every friend that you ever loan money to, or that you gift, or that you know, anything that you buy at the supermarket, everything will be available to them. Literally everything. And so now that they're saying that we're gonna make sure that you've got access to cash, I just simply don't believe them. I just do not believe them. And even if they had good intentions today, and I could believe them, and they were going to say, you know, this is a genuine pursuit, we are going to give people access to cash, you know, we are going to prioritise privacy, and we're not going to let ourselves have access to all that data. Even if that's true, they can change their minds in 5 years. You know, we'll have different people running the country, and they might not be as noble. So it's not, you know, the government needs to not have the ability to even access this data in order for us to actually be free, you know, financially. And they need to not be able to, you know, not to control the financial system, the currency system, and so that we can all continue to transact and pay whoever we want and buy whatever we want based on how much money we've got and, you know, what we want to do and who we want to do business with. That's up to us. It's not up to the government to come in and start telling us what we can and can't do, or even get, you know, even having an option to do that is still dangerous, because governments over time always take more power. They never give less. You know, they never give us our power back. It's always just a slow encroachment and chipping away at more and more, us giving more up and them taking more from us in terms of privacy. And that's really one of the reasons that I make these videos about CBDCs, because I want people to know what's coming and what's the risks involved, because the government won't tell you any of this stuff. You know, they're reacting, when they're talking about privacy now, they're reacting to other people's concerns. They're not actually concerned about it themselves. They're just putting out these statements because other people are worried about it. And if enough of us push back on this whole idea, it's not a definite that we're going to actually have it yet. You know, it is still under review, if you will. They're sort of testing it and piloting it. And so we have an opportunity now, a small window of time, to actually, you know, push back on this and get them to, if we cause enough of a headache for them, then we'll be able to maybe get them to think, well, this is not worth it, nobody wants it, and so let's just stick with cash. Or even move to a non-fiat option like Bitcoin or Monero, which would be even better. Now, who knows if that's going to happen? And certainly the government will not want to do that, but they may not have a choice later on down the line. We'll have to see. So, as always, guys, thanks.